Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. On this week's video, I am doing some projects with the new JRV rice paper that was just released last week. So if you want to see what I came up with, stick around. So for project one this week, I looked in my stash and realized that I had 4 of these. I paid $1.99 for them. I thought they would look really good painted up and then wet distressed, and I have done nothing with them. So I decided to go ahead and get out the new JRV rice paper, and this one is the birds and the bees, hummingbird, and bluebird, and make them a set. Now I know that the openings of this is smaller than the A5 size of the rice paper, so I just put the glass over the top to figure out what part I wanted framed, crease the sides, and then cut it out to fit the opening. Now you will see that these are some beautiful bird prints and easy to just make some beautiful wall decor with them. I decided to use Prairie gray. I'm going into fall season in my booth, and that is a more dark color that would go with these well. So I went over 2 coats of Prairie gray on all of these. Some of them have a red tint and some of them just have a silver tint. Just 2 coats of the Prairie gray, wet distressed it with a baby wipe, and then did a clear wax over the top for a top coat. And I am very happy with this gorgeous set that these created, and it was so easy. Now I did have a 4th picture frame, and I found another piece of rice paper to make that one look gorgeous too, since I was already doing the project. So for project number 2, I had thrifted this really cool frame a while back with original art inside. He's a little cute chef, but he's totally not my style. So I went ahead and removed him. And then because it's such a thick frame, those little metal things didn't work anymore. So I took those off. I cut a piece of wood to be the same size so that I would be able to decoupage this next paper on here. Now you can see that this fits well, but the little silver things will not even keep it in. So I decided to take them off and use them for another project. But guys, look at this new paper. It's beautiful. Cows under a tree. It's so beautiful. And if you've seen Jamie Ray Vintage at all, you know that she's been using this with some of her decor. So I'm just going to do actually 2 coats of Liquid Patina because this is raw wood and it just soaked it right up. So I wanted to have plenty of stickiness to get my print on there. I probably should have done it in sections like I do later in this video, but I did the whole thing at once. It still worked out. It still looks great. So Liquid Patina underneath. Make sure all the air bubbles are out and don't work it too much. This is rice paper, which is a little bit different consistency than the decoupage paper. I feel like it's a little tiny bit thicker and has more heft, but you can still overwork it. So just be careful with that. And then I went over the top with Liquid Patina as well. Also, just making sure you're pulling the air out towards the edges. Next, I did 2 coats of another fall color of mine, Skeleton Key. I really love how this pairs with the traditional fall colors, and it's a way to have just a fun neutral within all those colors. So 2 coats of this. I love the DIY Perfectionist paintbrush. It totally gets in all these little crevices. This is my favorite brush by far, guys. If you're on the fence about trying these new DIY paintbrushes, try this one first. It is fabulous. And dare I say, you won't go back, but it's nice to have nice paintbrushes. So I'm just showing you how the tip of this can get down in the crevices. And DIY paint is a clay-based paint, so it can be reactivated until it is sealed. So you can wet distress it. You can erase mistakes, so to speak, with water if you need to. And then you need to go over it with a top coat. So I'm going to go over this with white wax, but because I didn't want it to be too heavily waxed, I did a clear wax first and then a white wax so that I'd be able to buff off some of the white stuff so there'd be a lot more dimension. This next one is just a quick and dirty update. I had this owl in my own collection for a while. It was turquoise blue. I spray painted it white. I am not a good spray painter, as you can see. Decided to fall it up a little bit with Prairie gray. I did 2 coats of Prairie gray. Thought it would be just a nice little filler for my booth because I am done with it. Then I clear waxed it and then did a dark wax over the top of it so that he was a little moodier. And this was a nice quick upcycle. Okay, so when you go grocery shopping and you can get some clementines and you can get the little box with them, I grabbed this thinking I was going to do some little organizational thing in my pantry with it and never got around to it. So I was like, okay, let's see if I can make this look old. So I went over, I should have sanded this down, right? But I didn't. I painted 4 coats, yes, 4 coats of white linen over the top to finally get all this color to not show through. I probably just should have sanded it, but I wanted to see how many coats of the white linen Cottage paint it took to color up these very vibrant colors. This is after the first coat and I am working on the second coat. So if you had a box that didn't have as many bright colors, you probably could get away with 2 to 3 coats. So I wanted to age this box to make it look, old. This is just a little trial for me, right? I paid nothing for this box except the oranges that I ate or the clementines that I ate. So I'm using my mister to get this wood extra special wet so that the dark and decrepit would act more as a wash or a glaze than a legit full on stain. Like, that's what I love about this. You can use it as a stain and have it be very dark, or you can just kind of glaze over the top of it. So you can see right here, this looks a little scary, but it does kind of wash in with the paper towel because I had the water down first. So it made this wood look old, and there's the bottom. See how that just like looks old. And then I was like, well, now this white is way too white. So on the ends, I'm just going to put a little bit of my rag over the top of it to grunge it up a little bit. Then I am going to get, this is the leftover coffee from my morning. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it so it's not so strong, and pour it over the top of this new rice paper from JRV, because this paper is super white and I just made it look old. So let's pour some coffee over it. It wasn't in there super long, just enough to get it kind of saturated. And then I put it out on a paper towel so that it could dry nice and flat. And I'm happy with this really quick aging process for sure. So I think one of the reasons that they came up with these are the two cheese box things. See, the original white versus the coffee stained one, was to put on old thrifted boxes. So I decoupaged it on the side and it fit perfectly. And then when we moved to the ends, I was like, let's just stick it right here. And I hated how it looked. I just hated it. So I got out the Prairie gray, painted around it, wet distressed it with a wet wipe, and really wet distressed it to make it look extra special grungy, and called it a day. This was not my favorite project, guys, but I'm curious to think what you guys would have done to kind of salvage that end. Also, I did sand the edges of the paper. I went, because it's a raw wood, I feel like you can go along the side of it. Make sure that your liquid patina is all the way dry, and I feel like it kind of just pulls off. So what do you guys think? Did I salvage these crazy things? This last project is using another one of my favorite papers from JRV. I thrifted this not too long ago and really loved this paper, the Cottage Road, that goes with those cows sitting under a tree. And I was like, you know what would be nice, instead of putting it on a wall, putting it somewhere that you'd see all the time. And then I started painting this space right here, and I'm like, wait, that needs to be white. So I just took it off with the wet wipe. Ah, the power of getting the clay-based paint off when it has not been sealed yet. So now I'm just going to paint the whole outside and not the place where I'm going to be putting my decoupage paper, because having a white base underneath the decoupage paper helps those colors stand out a little bit better. And so I'm just keeping this part white for the decoupage. Did 2 coats of Prairie gray. I actually used clear wax on this one as well. I liked the sheen of the clear wax that was going on. And then now I'm using Liquid Patina again. And these little crevices did not give me very much trouble. I was wondering if I was going to cause trouble, but I did not. So I put it underneath and then worked my way across so that I didn't have to reposition the paper. And then I realized I cut a little sliver, like on the bottom, it was a little bit too narrow and you could see some of the white coming through. So one of the fun things about decoupage paper is you can layer it. So I just cut that little sliver off of my remnants and put it down there, and you cannot tell that I miscut. It is pretty forgiving. That is something that's really fun about decoupage paper. So I super love this particular project. What do you guys think? I know that it would look good if I had a matching frame with project number 2, how good these two would look together. But I also wanted to show you that you don't have to do the obvious with these things. You can make them part of your organizational life as well. So guys, what did you guys think? Did you have a favorite? I looked at my watch because I just did the whole outro and I noticed I wasn't recording. Man, you'll have to believe me, it was a good one too. Anyway, did you guys have a favorite? I know my favorite, two of my favorite papers was the cows under a tree and that barn one. I just love how cozy they are. You will see me doing more projects with those. And you know what? I think I need to do some projects that stay in my house. What do you guys think? They're so beautiful. Let's look at them all the time. Anyway, let me know in the comments below your favorite project. These JRV rice papers came out about a week ago. I have stocked them in my booth at Angry Mama's Antiques and Interiors in Cumming, Georgia. Check with your local retailer and see if they have also stocked it as well. I just reached out to the person helping me with my website, and we have a call scheduled for next week to get the shipping under control so that I can sell DIY paint on my website. So that is a plan for next week. As soon as I can get the DIY paint selling there, I can add JRV as well. I know a number of you have said you're looking for a DIY stockist or that you would love to support me, and I would love to let you guys do that. It's just, I want to get the shipping to be real-time shipping and not like a guesstimate. So that is a process. I know that this weekend, my little two and my husband are going to be selling some popcorn in front of Angry Mama's Antiques and Interiors. I'm so excited. Hadley is a scout and she is raising money to help her with her expenses this year. And one of the exciting expenses for her is she gets to go on a camping trip to Alaska. And my husband really wants to go, and he's like, babe, that's really expensive. And I'm like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Let's just set a goal to raise money and all the proceeds go directly to help her funding. So if you guys are local, I would love for you guys to come out this Saturday and support her. And you know what? I'm just going to throw this out there. My husband said that there is a link that you can go and order popcorn so you get a legit thing that directly supports her. So just on a whim, I'm going to put that link in the description below. Don't feel like you have to, but if you want to, oh my gosh, she would be so appreciative. Piper and I are going to be working on getting some of this fall stuff into my booth. I'm ready to do a little flip. I'm kind of getting in the mood. These rainy days have me getting ready for fall. So also let me know in the comments below, are you ready to think about creating fall? It's time. If you are a maker and sell things, it's really time to think about it. So if you are new here, checking again. If you are new here, thank you so much for being here. I am thankful, and please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell to all so you get updated every time I upload a new video. Guys, I am thankful for you. I want to encourage you to stay creative, feed your creative soul, and if you happen to sell it, that's just gravy, right? Okay, enough rambling. I'm gonna go do some cleaning up. I will see you guys in the next video.